What would you tell your younger self if you could? Looking back, there are lessons I wish I'd learned a lot sooner, truths that could have saved me a lot of time, energy, and stress. In this episode, I'm going to share those reflections with you. Welcome to the Thrive in Practice podcast, a bite-sized show designed to keep you motivated, inspired, and on track to creating a thriving healthcare business. Every Monday morning at 8 a.m., I'll share simple actions you can take in your business right now to help you get more clients, increase your income, and reduce overwhelm. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. We're going to take a slightly different turn from the usual business topics. And although this is still business related, it is more about mindset, both personal and professional development. These are the things that I wish 20-year-old me, in fact, maybe even earlier me when I was in high school, knew some of these lessons, because I think it would have saved a lot of heartache. It would have saved a lot of stress. It would have helped me move and grow a lot quicker than what I have. Now, I've been in business for 24 years and I've only learned these lessons in the last 12 months after having spent a lot of money and a lot of time with different mentors, going to retreats, going to seminars, reading. I'm seeing the amounts of reading this year. And it's really helped shape me into the person that I am today. But that growth has come after nearly 24 years of being in business. And I, again, wish I just knew these things a lot sooner. So my hope with this episode is that you'll learn those lessons a lot sooner than I did. And I hope that they make a difference for you. And there are 5 things that I wanted to talk you through. And the first is that the more no's you get in life, the more yeses you get. And similar to that is that the faster you fail, the faster you succeed. Now, you've heard me say plenty of times before that I don't believe there are any failures in business. There's only lessons or wins. So I don't like using that word. But when you go out there and you do something and it hasn't quite worked out the way you had wanted to do, the more of that you do, the more of the no's that you get, going out, asking people to collaborate, connecting with your community, trying new different techniques for marketing, whatever it is, whatever you put out there, the more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get. And if you do something and it doesn't work and you keep doing things and they don't work, well, that is how you grow. That is how you become more successful, because the more you do that you get wrong, the more you learn, and the next time you do it better. And that can only result in positive things. It's certainly been my experience in business. I don't always get things right. I don't always claim that I know everything. I certainly don't know everything. But the more I try, the more I learn, and the faster I actually grow as well. And that relates to point number 2, which is that we grow from a place of discomfort more than we do from a place of comfort. And this saying I heard earlier this year, which I really loved, and that is that it's better to live in an uncomfortable heaven than a comfortable hell. I'm going to repeat that again because I really love this saying. It's better to live in an uncomfortable heaven than a comfortable hell. And what that means is that a lot of us sit in a space of comfort, right? We don't take risks because if we stay in our comfort zone, we can't fail. We don't get that risk of people saying negative things to us. So when we sit in that space of comfort, we feel happy, but really, are we happy? Like, we're okay, but are we actually happy? Or is it your own little mini hell because you're doing something that you're not loving? Maybe you've got a job and your practice is your side hustle, for example, or maybe it is that you're working on this full time, but you're not putting the effort and energy into this and taking risks to grow the business. And so you're starting to become a bit resentful of your business because it's not making you enough money. And so this is why it's really important to push ourselves into that place of discomfort, because that is truly where we grow. Now, for me personally, I have tried a lot of things in my 24 years of being self-employed, and some of them didn't work. A lot of them didn't work. But again, I learned and I grew so much just from those experiences. And so now what I do is intentionally go after things that feel like they're way above my head and there's no chance that those things are going to happen. But if it's something that I really want, I'm still going to try. But the difference now is that I'm not attached to the outcome. I'll try knowing that it's likely going to be a no or it's not going to work, but I'm still going to try because it pushes me out of my comfort zone and I get to learn and I get to grow so much faster. So stop putting yourself in that place of comfort because you cannot grow from there. Start taking risks, calculated risks, but know that you are going to get some no's or things aren't going to go quite your way, and that is perfectly okay. When you understand that is part of the process, it helps make it easier to take that next leap when the things haven't worked out or when you've put yourself in that place of discomfort in order to take that next leap in your life. The other one I really love, number 3, is that life happens for you, not to you. And I want you to imagine that you're driving down the street and it's a red light and you're in a rush and you've had a, hectic morning with the kids rushing around. Where are all the lunch boxes? Where are the water bottles? Where is this? Where are my keys? Where's my phone? You get in the car and then it's a red light and then another red light. And then you finally feel like the road's starting to move and then somebody crosses the road when they shouldn't have and you have to come to a sudden stop. And so we get really, really agitated with all these things that are happening. And a lot of the times we go into that poor me state. Why does this always happen? Why can't my road be smoother? Why can't this be this? Why can't that be that? And so we get into this negative headspace, start feeling sorry for ourselves because we feel like those things are happening to us. But in actual fact, those things are happening for us. Why? Because we're here to learn lessons in life. And so for me, a lesson would be in that scenario is that maybe the universe is trying to tell me to slow the hell down, or maybe to wake up a little bit earlier, or maybe to do something different so that I'm not feeling so flustered all the time. And I cannot begin to tell you how many things that have happened to me that have felt really negative, like you feel like you just want to put yourself in a corner and cry your eyes out because those things feel way too intense and you don't know how to deal with them and you don't want to deal with them because they're just too hard. But when you stop and you get up and you start thinking about things happening for you, you start asking questions and you wonder, why is this happening? What is the possible lesson that I could be learning? So I implore you to get curious when things aren't quite going your way or you feel like, the universe is out to get you. I want you to ask yourself, why is this happening? What could be the lesson? What am I not seeing? What is it here? What is the message here? And when you can look for that message, you will often find something really profound happens from there as well. So get curious. Number 4, when people put you down, know that they are projecting. Now, this podcast actually came about because of something that happened to me recently where somebody who I trusted, somebody who I admired, somebody who I'd known for a little while, who I knew quite well, who had a lot of love and respect for me, said some really incredibly hurtful things. And my initial reaction was to take it personally, as we all do. But after sitting with what that person had said to me and knowing that none of those things that she said described the personality of who I am, not a single person around me who knew and loved me would ever say those things about me. And so when I started looking at it from that perspective and realizing that it wasn't really resonating with me what this person was saying. Not to say that, I'm never at fault. There's always things that we could probably do better. But when I listened to the deeper message, what I understood was this person was acting from a place of hurt and it stemmed back to their childhood. And I could hear the patterns and the words in her voice where the blame was being shifted onto me because it was easier for her to do that than it was to acknowledge that maybe she just wasn't capable of doing what needed to be done. And so when I listened to the words, all I could hear was the things that had happened in her childhood that I knew about in the past that she told me, and her projecting those things onto me in order to justify her behavior. And the beautiful thing about this is when I took that step backwards and realized that it wasn't about me, it made me feel so much better, one, about myself, but two, knowing that I didn't have to hold on to something that wasn't mine. And so I was able to move forward a lot more faster than I normally would have when I understood that these people, or this person specifically, was projecting their own issues onto me. And I want you to start looking at it like that. If somebody is saying something to you and it's putting you down, it's Karen77 on Instagram who tells you you don't know what you're talking about and you don't look pretty today and why are you getting on camera and you don't have enough makeup on, or whatever it might be, know that a lot of the times those people are projecting onto you because they feel inferior to you. No one who is above you, no one who's got more experience than you, no one who's accomplished a lot in life is going to take the time to bring you down. So the only people that do are those that have their own wounds that need to be healed. And rather than working on those wounds and trying to heal them, they'll just project their issues onto other people because it makes themselves feel better. And so when you understand that, you start not taking those things personally and you can able to move forward on in your life without feeling that immense pressure to change to accommodate what somebody else needs or wants. And the last point is related to the first point, the last point is related to the point that I just mentioned before. And that is that no one can push your buttons unless you have buttons to push. So often people say things to us and it triggers us. And in this case, it did trigger some things in me. But what I realized in that moment was that if I didn't have something to be triggered, I wouldn't have been triggered by those comments. And so that made me start looking more inward and going, okay, if somebody has said X, Y, Z to me and I'm feeling like this, then I need to look in again, get curious and work out why it is that those words hurt me so much. Because let's just say, as an example, someone said that you're not smart enough, right? I would sit down and I would go deep and go, okay, well, what does that relate to? What am I not smart enough in? In what space is this context of this message being delivered to me? I can sit down now and go, okay, I'm now feeling like I'm not that smart. So why is it that I let somebody tell me that when I already know that I'm a smart person, that I'm capable of doing so much? Why am I being triggered by those words? So then I'll sit back and I'll go over, and I remember being in year 10 where a teacher told me when I asked a question that nobody in the class knew the answer to, mind you. And she said to me, her response was, "What, are you stupid or something?" So because I had this thing in me from year 10 maths where this teacher said something horrible that she should never have said, when I realized that those comments that are being made to make you believe that you're not good enough or that you're not smart enough, I realized there was something there that I hadn't worked through. And so when you start understanding that people can't push your buttons unless there's a button to push, then you start understanding that there is something deeper there that you need to work on. Because when you work on those things, when you're confident, when you know that you're intelligent, when you know that you're good enough, when you know that you are capable, somebody coming along and telling you that you're not will not trigger you. And that is why you need to understand that people triggering you may actually be a good thing, because it gives you the opportunity to start working on yourself and improving. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Please leave me some reviews, comment on my Instagram page, Anil or _Anil Mustafa _ or at the My Appointments page, which is My Appointments app, on Instagram and Facebook. I'd absolutely love to hear from you and let me know if these words have resonated with you. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a natural health practitioner looking to build a thriving practice, then My Appointments is here to help. Our innovative practice management software and automated solutions reduce your administrative burdens, allowing you to focus on what you do best, positively impacting your patients' lives. With plans starting at just $0 per month, you can save both time and money. Visit myappointments.app for a 30-day free trial, or for more information about the Thrive in Practice course, head to anilmustafa.com.au.